So Brandon, you're the multimedia specialist at your alma mater, Angelo State University. What does that mean?
It's exciting. Basically, for my position as a multimedia specialist, I handle all the video and the photography that represents university on a developmental level for donors, for students, and incoming freshmen and things like that. So it's very busy.
So through that, what sort of image are you hoping to project of Angelo State?
For Angelo State, with it being a university, and we've got to think in two minds. We've got to think on an alumni level and on a student level. So I think for me, it's really trying to brand two different, one image, but that speaks to two different people types. So I think looking at the culture and what the trends that are happening and really meeting the students where they're at, but also maintaining that professionalism and the things that the alumni are looking for as well, that the Angelo State has always been to them.
The fact that Angelo State is your alma mater, does that make your job maybe a little bit more personal for you, that you maybe feel a little bit of a burden to sort of help boost Angelo State in the hearts and minds and eyes of others?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because they didn't have any of that when I was there. So I'm kind of learning and getting to experience all this for the first time too. So I'm slightly jealous of the students coming in now because they have so much to offer. There's with Rambunctious Weekend and all the stuff that they do is pretty incredible.
Yeah. You also own, and this is going to be a long list, so let me go through this. Whitford Photography. You co-own Out of Box Media. You were a member of the rock band High Seas Adventure. You're an ordained minister. You're on the worship team of your church, and you recently co-produced a short film. So I'm wondering, are you a man of many talents or just simply restless?
Just a jack of all trades, I guess. Master of none. No, just I like doing a lot of different things. I think life's short, and there's a lot to experience, and it'd be a waste not to dive into a bunch of different things.
So of all those many different pursuits, is there one that you feel like moves you the most?
I really love getting to lead worship with my wife. That's always an awesome experience, is being able to get up and lead people in the presence of God, with her. And with the short films and different things like that, that's just a way to get everything that's in my head out in a creative way, And so I think that's always a big thing, an important thing for me to be able to do as well.
So of all those things, video, photography, graphic design, music, ministering, is there one thing that you think you're best at?
I try to make a habit of learning something every single day, just constantly growing. And I think over the last year, that's been in videography, in my professional job at the moment. I think that's where I've applied the most time, the most effort, and I feel like I've seen it improve a lot. And I think right now that's probably where my main focus would be, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's where I'm growing the most.
Of all those things, as you mentioned, there is a level of creativity for everything that you're doing there. How important is it for you to be in a creative field and in a creative environment?
Super important. I've worked in other environments and I feel like I'm dying on the inside when I'm not doing it. It speaks to that, just being able to do something you love, and the things that are the ideas that you get, the things that are going on in your mind, and being able to present those things for the world to see, or for even a single person, is. There's satisfaction in that.
You've won a lot of awards from some of those creative efforts. How meaningful are those to you to get recognition from the outside, validation of what it is that you're creating?
I think it's nice to get validation. I don't do it for that though. I see validation, or I see lots of things getting awards and things that I look at. I'm like, and sometimes I'm really hard on myself too when I do things. But I think it's nice to get affirmation that you're moving in the right direction, but never think, I've arrived, or this is, all right, I'm good, to never think that. But it is exciting, when you win something though.
And how do those things compare to what you're being recognized for right now, which is leadership?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It's just, I'm still kind of taken back by it, I guess, because I feel like I'm just doing things that are in me to do, that I want to do, And for those things to get recognized, it's just kind of a sweet deal, kind of a cherry on top.
Yeah. So how do you define leadership?
I think if you were to define leadership and probably boil it down to one word, it'd be influence. And I think leadership's a gift, but I think a good leader seeks to inspire the people around them. I think they're in the business of promoting the people around them, and willing to take educated risks and not be afraid to put out the ideas that you have, and work as hard as you need to work to get the job done right, and strive for excellence. I think the biggest thing for a leader is just to maintain. It's almost like a sense of urgency, and it's like this needs to happen, and this is gonna be good for everyone. But looking to really empower the team that he has around him or the people around them, and affirmation can't be the number one reason you do anything, but instead be focused on how you can promote and how you can inspire the people around you in whatever way, even if it's through your work or it's through leadership or whatever it may be. I think just trying to stay on that leading edge and leading from the front,
Talk about a leader who's inspired you.
I would have to say a leader that's influenced or impacted my life would have to be my parents. I was fortunate enough to grow up with parents that were willing to sacrifice everything for my sister and I. And my dad helped me get my first camera and my first flash units to be able to learn. And if it wasn't for their constant support, I don't know where I would be. In addition to them, I would say a gentleman over the last 5 years that's really come alongside and mentored me even is Randy Levins. So I've been fortunate enough to have a multitude of leaders come alongside me over the years that's really encouraged me and support me and teach me invaluable lessons about life.
So you've been a youth pastor, you've taught Bible literature in a private school, you're an ordained minister, and you sing and you play guitar at St. Angelo First Church. How does your faith walk shape your life?
It's the epicenter. Everything is affected by that. I always joked with my youth group, whoever said you need to put God first in your life was wrong. I mean, if I told my wife, you're my number one wife, she'd be like, wait, what? She'd punch me in the face, that makes no sense. But he's the epicenter. That's everything flows out of that, and it affects number one and the number two and number three, And so, I think that my faith, is what allows me to be able to do the things I do, and it's what pushes me to strive for excellence and to love people and be selfless as much as possible.
You, as I mentioned earlier, you recently co-produced a very moving short film that was titled Shattered Dreams. It was an effort to try to warn high school seniors about the dangers of drinking and driving. Talk about that experience and why it was meaningful to you.
First of all, it was awesome because I got to work with a good buddy, Brian Groves.
Yeah, he's right over there.
Yeah, he's over here. What's up, dude? And and two, it was really important, I think, for both of us at the time to have this passion project, this thing that we could just go all out for and write. But it was really important to me was, especially in this generation and this time, no one really thinks of the longevity of their decisions and how those decisions not only affect you, but affect everyone around them and can do that for a lifetime. And so it was really neat to be able to creatively send that message to students. It's these things may continue to happen. You may continue to choose to do this, but I want you to think about this. This is the potential consequence that can happen. And you're not just affecting yourself. There's a potential to affect lives that aren't even involved, and that's a permanent life change, That's something that will go with you the rest of your life. Do you really want to do that? It's going to think twice.
And of course, the message was towards young people, which you've worked with through your works, through your churches. Do you think video is an especially effective way of delivering a message like that? Yeah. Are they more willing to accept it?
I always get torn between that, especially when I was in youth ministry. It was I don't want to move them on an emotional level like that too much. I want it to be, I want to reason with them on a, just in a conversation even. I think more than anything though, I think media, video, music is such a huge platform to reach students. I think that's probably one of the best. And I think that's why these YouTubers and these guys are always, thriving, is because, they're just meeting the students right where they're at. And if you can meet them where they're at and they trust you and they know you love them, I think that's probably your most effective source of media, is just yourself, I think, a lot of times. And when they trust you and you produce these things, it speaks to them.
You're obviously a talented videographer and photographer. What do you hope the future has in store for you?
I think my ultimate dream, my selfish dream, would be to be a videographer for Red Bull Media, like travel around and shoot extreme sports. I've skateboarded and stuff my whole life, and so that's kind of always been like my big dream. But man, like I've done so many different things. I don't know what would be next. I'm just excited for whatever comes. It could be anything, and that'd be exciting. As long as it supports me and my family, we're good.
Brandon, congratulations on being one of the 20 under 40.
Thank you. Appreciate it.